Hello, everybody. Tracy Mrs. JDog Flanagan here with you today. I'm the co-founder and senior vice president of JDog Brands. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Tactical Treasures Podcast, powered by JDog and Vet TV. Our podcast gives veterans, male spouses, active military members, and military family members a voice in the veteran space to speak about their service, how they're affecting their communities post-service, and they share with me a tactical treasure from their past that has helped them in their journey in their military career, business, or life. Today, I'm very excited to have with me Brandt McCartney. Brandt McCartney joined the Concussion Legacy Foundation in June 2022 in order to pursue his passion of raising awareness for mental health in the veteran and athlete communities. After his own brother, United States Marine Corps Captain Matthew Brewer died by suicide in February of 2021, Brandt founded his own 501c3 organization, the 38 Challenge, where Brandt is seeking to reduce veteran suicide by eliminating the mental health stigma associated with showing vulnerability in the warrior culture. Brandt, hello. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really excited to have you on and discuss everything that you have to share with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
Yeah. Brandt, could you talk to us a little bit about your brother and your brother's service?
Yeah, absolutely. So after Matt played football his whole life, right? And then was highly recruited out of high school, and um, you know he decided that he wanted to play football at one of the academies, and he ended up at the Naval Academy. So he played football for 4 years there, and then after that he served in the Marine Corps for 8 years. So went to IOC, served as an officer um, with with heavy artillery, and did a couple of tours. He ended up in Mali, Africa, serving with the United Nations as a special operations specialist. So that's kind of, and then after he got out of his service of the Marine Corps, he continued his service through becoming a firefighter in Kansas City.
Oh, wow. Wow, what an awesome career. So it seems like he kind of married his love of football with joining the Marine Corps and wanting to serve his country. That's really awesome. Um, so you founded the 38 Challenge to honor your brother. Could you talk to us about the 38 Challenge and what it's all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So after Matt passed, obviously Matt died by suicide, and I wanted to honor him, right? I wanted to shed light on the man that he was, and also
Mhm.
this issue that is plaguing the not only the veteran community and the athlete community, but just society in general, and that is mental health.
Yeah.
So I thought of, what are ways to do this, and Matt was 230 pounds and just worked out like a maniac. So I thought, what better way to honor him than creating a brutal workout. So at first, it started as a warrior workout. So the 38 challenge originally is a 38-minute exercise, 400-meter run, 38 push-ups, 38 sit-ups, and 38 squats. You do as many rounds of that as you can in 38 minutes. But really, I wanted the meaning behind the workout to be the important part, right? So the beautiful thing about suffering, right, is the way that I suffer and the way that you suffer, Tracy, and the way that everyone suffers is different, right? So,
Right.
so long as you place yourself in an uncomfortable situation for 38 minutes and you're leaning on the people that you love, then you're doing the 38 challenge correctly. So, really wanted to show the importance of going through difficult, uncomfortable situations, which there's nothing harder than facing your mental health head on, right, and doing it with the people that you love. So that was really the initial purpose behind the challenge, and then since then we created our own 501c3, and our mission is to, like you said, challenge the stigma associated with asking for help. So really, our mission is to create community, to spread awareness, to show people that nothing is stronger than being vulnerable and asking for help.
Right. So the 38 challenge, is it do you go to certain cities and have people sign up for this? Is this a group exercise or something that an individual can do?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the answer to the question is both. So we'll go around to different cities and we'll host 38 challenge events. So the the events that we host is really a three phased approach. So the first phase is doing the 38-minute exercise, right? The importance um, of suffering and leaning on others when suffering. And the second part is we have people sharing their unique mental health testimonies, right? Showing that the participants there that nothing is stronger than being vulnerable, right? And that they can get
Right.
through these times so long as they don't try to do it by themselves. And then the last point is community connection networking, and we invite a whole bunch of different nonprofits to in the community together, right? So that the participants are aware that these organizations are out there, that they can plug in and get connected, and hopefully through the exercise, after their endorphins are raised, and after they hear these empowering stories, that they might feel inclined to ask for help if they need it right then and there at the event. So we partner with Irreverent Warriors. I know you guys are big fans of them, and
Yeah, we are.
um, you know, Wounded Warrior Project, Team Red, White, and Blue, Travis Mann Foundation. Really, we're trying to anyone whose mission is to help veterans and to help society with their mental health or otherwise. Are more than welcome at our events, and really, we just want to create that atmosphere. So those are the in-person events. We have one coming up July 15th in DFW. Expecting probably about 500 people there, and then
Wow.
after that, we'll be in St. Louis, where Matt and I attended high school in St. Louis. We all are in Wildwood, Missouri. We always go back there to around his birthday to kind of take it back to where it all started. So
Oh, wow.
um, those are two in-person events that people can attend. We'll be doing one, unfortunately, not in Philadelphia this year. We'll be doing it
Oh,
in Boston for the Army Navy game. We'll always have one around that time, and then just continuing to expand the in-person events. And then
wow.
people also have the opportunity to register online between July 15th and August 8th, which is Matt's birthday.
Okay. Wow, that's really neat. Um, so when are these events typically held? Are they held on Saturdays? And like, yeah, we sponsor IW, our JDog Foundation. Um, we're a 5-star sponsor with IW. We get involved, our JDogs get involved in hikes all over the country. We just recently had a hike here, May 6th in Philadelphia. Um, so I know their particular organization, you have to be, a veteran or active military in order to hike. Civilians aren't allowed to hike. Is that the same with your in-person events, or is it only people who are suffering with mental health, or are people who want to support that allowed to participate? How does that work?
Yeah, really anyone is allowed. So it's free for active duty, for veterans, and for first responders.
Uh-huh.
Everyone else, it's a $38 fee. So that's their way that they can support. But no,
$38. I
I
like
mean,
that.
I'm sorry.
$38. I like that.
Oh
I know
yeah, no,
that's
it's
specific, right?
super simple business plan. I just
Yeah,
throw 38 in front of everything, and that's how we roll.
that's awesome.
Make things super easy. But yeah, I think it's important to note that it's not just the military community that's affected by mental health, right? So
Right.
we really want everyone to be impacted by our message, and for the warrior culture to really be the tip of the spear, and for the rest of society to look into this group, asking for help and prioritizing their mental health so that they do the same.
I see. And how long is the event? The in-person events?
It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So the workout again is only 38 minutes, and then people will the keynote speakers. We usually have two or three, probably yeah, probably 30 to 45 minutes, and then after that, people can stay as long as they want to until the last person leaves.
Oh, wow, that's great. That's great. Um, Thank you for all that information. I think it's really amazing what you're doing. Um, so Let's Talk TBI was also founded in partnership with the Concussion Legacy Foundation's Project Enlist. Could you tell us a little bit about that program?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned, Matt played football at the Naval Academy and then was surrounded by heavy artillery throughout his whole time in the Marine Corps. So after he passed, and kind of looking back at some of the symptoms, we were introduced to this disease of CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy. So that
Right.
got us connected to the Concussion Legacy Foundation, and ever since then, we've kind of been hand in hand with them. So Let's Talk TBI is to raise awareness for how brain injuries might impact someone's mental health, right? Because
Right.
um, a lot of warriors, especially when they think of TBI, they think of I've spoken to many of them like, oh no, I haven't really experienced TBI. I was like, really? Were you around Blast? Like, oh yeah, I was a breacher. I was like, then you have so many TBIs, you know, that you might have no idea that you've had, because this idea of a TBI is getting blown up in a Humvee, right, or stepping on an IED or something like that. When
Right.
really it's these micro exposures that can create long-term damage, along with the more traumatic events as well. So Let's
Sure.
Talk TBI is really just an opportunity for warriors to talk about their experiences with TBI, and then talk about the mental health effects that might have come with them, so that people understand that there's an injury to the brain, and that they're not, losing their mind, or crazy, or weak, or any of these things, right? There's an injury to the brain, similar to, if you were to break your arm, and there's different
Sure.
ways that it's very hard work that you have to put in, but there's different ways to begin to repair the brain. So yeah, that's really our mission at the Concussion Legacy Foundation.
Right. That's awesome. Um, so I understand that the 38 Challenge also has a podcast called the 38 Challenge Podcast. Could you talk to us about that? And what type of guests do you have on?
Yeah, absolutely. So the podcast, again, around the same theme, we just wanted to give a platform where people with incredibly powerful stories can share their darkest moments, their most vulnerable times, and then share how they got through them, right? And
Yeah.
what helped them to get through those times. So we've had celebrities to elite warriors to athletes, and just people with incredibly powerful stories. And it's different than a lot of podcasts, right? I usually tell people it's a successful episode if they share something they've never shared before,
Right.
because we really want to get vulnerable, and those are the kind of stories that people can relate to, right? Because um, if someone else puts into words kind of what you're feeling, then it validates those feelings, and it might just be what you need to hear for you to reach out and start taking steps to heal.
Sure. And I think human nature, it's very hard to be vulnerable, right? But
Mhm.
I think there's power in vulnerability. And it's really, I think, what reaches other people. And I think taps into, hey, I'm not alone. Um, I can relate, and there's somebody who's just like me or experiencing things. So, yeah, great idea for your podcast. I love it. Hello, viewers and listeners. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Tactical Treasures, where we are currently speaking with Brandt McCartney, who is the founder of his own 501c3 organization, the 38 Challenge, which really promotes the legacy of his brother, raising awareness for mental health in the veteran and athlete communities after his own brother, United States Marine Corps Captain Matthew Brewer, died by suicide in February of 2021. So the 38 Challenge was founded in memory of Captain Matthew Brewer. The 38 Challenge's mission is to eliminate suicide through challenging the stigma associated with seeking help and showing vulnerability. Through various events, the community and advocacy, the 38 Challenge shows veterans that seeking help and showing vulnerability is a sign of strength. Their goal is to empower warriors to take the first step towards healing by admitting they need help and then connecting them to partners who are proven to help. To get involved and help support the mission, you can go to the38challenge.com. There you can learn more about the mission, register for the 38 Challenge workout and the various events that are hosted, and even donate directly to the cause. Now back to the podcast. So let's dive into your treasure. I would love to hear what you're going to share with us today.
Absolutely. I was going to show Matt's helmet. Lucas, can you toss me that picture right there? But I have a picture of Matt instead.
Okay, awesome. I
Yes,
love it.
helmet's at the apartment. But the reason why I want to share this is because so there's Matt, my brother.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
big boy. We can send you these pictures as well.
Yeah.
But the reason why I wanted to share that is because I remember after Matt died, we've had his 38 jersey frame. I remember looking at it, and that's really the whole idea behind the 38 challenge, right? Is what that jersey represents, which is not only football players and athletes, but also the our veterans and our military community as well. So that's everywhere from our logo to our color scheme is kind of based off of that jersey. So I thought that it makes sense to share that.
Yeah, well, that's really special. And I think it's really incredible how you're honoring your brother and kind of carrying on his legacy by all the work that you're doing. Very great work. Listeners, viewers, I would like to let you know about the Grunt Style Foundation. No veteran should go without. Grunt Style is proud to assist in military transition and sustainment, food insecurities, and housing. It's a cause that, hey, we can all agree on. Help a veteran today. Be a part of the solution. Visit gruntstylefoundation.org to learn more about how the foundation is moving forward with purpose and how you can be a part of the mission. So, do you have some pieces of advice for just, veterans or anybody really who's currently struggling with mental health issues?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think, dealing with, I've gone through my own mental health as well, right? And
Sure.
by far the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
And I think that needs to be understood because I remember, you know, laying in bed with depression, right? Or facing some debilitating anxiety and just thinking that tomorrow you're gonna wake up and that it's gonna be gone. And hoping that, right? But
Right.
I think the biggest piece of advice, and it's not what people probably want to hear, and it's not what I wanted to hear, but that it's going to be hard, right? And the sooner you can start taking steps, you know, reaching out to your family members, reaching out to your friends, to professionals, right? To go to the gym, even though it's the last thing that you want to do, right? To go on that walk, even though it takes you everything in your body to do that. That's the only way you're going to get out of it. And so I think, my piece of advice is to, um, you know, is to start putting in the work, right? Because I think, I say all the time, ask for help, but what does that mean? It's different for everyone.
Sure.
And the first step is to actually start putting in work.
Yeah, that's great advice. I think that's probably the hardest part of the work is to actually admit to, family members or friends that you're struggling and you need help. I know
Right.
that's a huge thing in the military community because there's this stigma that if you're a veteran and you've served, and especially if you've served in combat, you're supposed to be completely invincible. You don't have problems. You're okay, but you're not okay, and it's hard to admit that. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think,
that
I
is the
think
hardest, I think.
what our message, we're kind of approaching it a different way, but when you look at combat veterans, right? a lot of the times, type A, super hard dudes.
Right.
They
Yeah.
enjoy doing difficult things, right? And challenging workouts, being elite performers. Well, there's nothing harder than working on yourself. And if you want to be, the best father, friend, husband, warrior that you can be, then you have to put in that hard work. And if you are who you say you are and you enjoy doing difficult things, then this is the hardest work you'll ever have to do. So
Right.
we hope that people start to understand that there's actually nothing stronger than taking this stuff head on. But
Yeah.
don't do it alone.
Right. Great advice. Great advice. Brandt, thank you so much for coming on and sharing about your brother and your story and how you're honoring him. It's really been an awesome discussion. Um, Before you go, can you tell us where people can find and connect with you and where they can find out more information about the 38 Challenge?
Yeah, absolutely. As we've discussed, it's not hard to find us. 38 Challenge podcast, 38 Challenge on all social media, the 38challenge.org. You can reach us at contact at the38challenge.com. So as long as you can remember the number 38, we should be pretty easy to find.
Yeah, that you did. You kept it very simple.
Yeah, very
Awesome.
simple.
Um, and if people go to 38challenge.org, they can find out about where your events are being held, your in-person events, and they can register and sign up there.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
They can register. They can look at some of our partners and really learn about our messaging and kind of how we think that mental health should be talked about. Not this kind of foo-foo soft topic, but it's something
Right.
that shouldn't be avoided, and we shouldn't beat around the bush.
Right. That's great. Great. Well, thank you so much for coming on and telling your story. It was really awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Take care.
Take care.
Hello, viewers and listeners. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Tactical Treasures Podcast. We've just finished up a wonderful conversation with Brandt McCartney, who is the founder of the 38 Challenge, where he is seeking to reduce veteran suicide by eliminating the mental health stigma associated with showing vulnerability in the warrior culture. Through various events, the community, and advocacy, the 38 Challenge shows veterans that seeking help and showing vulnerability is a sign of strength. Their goal is to empower warriors to take the first step towards healing by admitting they need help and then connecting them to partners who are proven to help. To get involved and help support the mission, you can go to the38challenge.com. There you can learn more about the mission, register for the 38 Challenge workout, and the various events that are hosted, and even donate directly to the cause. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Tactical Treasures Podcast. And don't forget that you can find us on all your favorite podcast platforms, as well as Vet TV. And we are now airing on Reese Across America Radio on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern and Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. You can also find Reese Across America Radio on the iHeartRadio app, the Odyssey app, and the TuneIn app. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.